Bill Carroll, Zinni62 Media. I'm working my way through my watch list for the 2024-2025 college football season, and of course, the draft to follow. I'm going to open up today with two prospects I truly believe are special, one of whom has at least one more year of eligibility left. Now, he may end up perhaps entering the draft 1 year early or maybe consider transferring. But either way, if he plays this year and next year, I'll watch him gladly for 2 more years. He led all of FCS in solo tackles per game, averaging 8.2 solo tackles per game. He had truly one of the most impressive seasons of anybody, and that's Micah Tank Davey from McNeese State. He had 153 total tackles, 7 tackles for loss, as I mentioned, 82 of those solo. He also had 2 sacks, 4 quarterback hurries, 3 pass breakups in just 10 games. He had double-digit tackles in every single game, including 13 against Florida. Playing obviously up a level of competition, was one of the best players on the field. 15.2 tackles per game, also led all of FCS. So 8.2 solo, 15.2 overall. Truly impressive. Probably comes in about 6'1" and 5/8, about 238 pounds or so. Perfectly sized for today's NFL. Would have considered undersized 30 or 40 years ago, but it's not 30 or 40 years ago. Like I said, if he declares, he's one of the FCS players I could see being drafted if he came out early. All comes down to how he physically tests. The other player I'm going to talk about is a former FCS player who, as a graduate, has transferred up from Monmouth to Rutgers. And that's one of the top receivers I saw last year at FCS, who I thought might be on last year's draft, but Dymere Miller decided to play for 1 more year. Originally from Coatesville, Pennsylvania, so another Western PA kid, which has produced that area and the area surrounding Pittsburgh has produced so many players. I could talk for a month and not run out. But he's a truly, truly impressive all-around receiver, can do a little bit of everything, can work all 3 levels. You hear that term used a lot, meaning that you can use him in that 0 to 7 yard area for slants and screens and curls and hooks and shallow crosses, and then he can run all those things in the middle of the field. And then you want to send him deep, just watch him go. There's no part of the field he's not able to attack. He has very good hands. He's a terrific route runner. He trusts his hands, and soon so will you. Probably about 5'11" and a half, probably about 181, 182, 183, somewhere in that range in terms of pounds. May put on a little weight, not to say they didn't have good strength and conditioning in his time at Monmouth, and Monmouth has produced some receivers. Obviously, shout out to Miles Austin, but they've had some other ones. I truly believe Dymere Miller is one of those players that moving up to Rutgers will not disturb him at all. I think he's going to have good games against very good competition. There's nothing about what he does or how he does it that I feel is fluky or can only work at a certain level. In his time at Monmouth, had 2,387 receiving yards, 17 touchdowns, and 168 receptions. Holds records for single season receptions, single season receiving yards, 1,293 receiving yards, single game receiving record, 333 yards. And of course, a single season 100-yard games record at 6 in a season. Had an absolute monster year. Parlayed that, as I said, into his time now at Rutgers. Was a Walter Payton Award finalist, first team FCS All-American, according to Pro Football Focus, according to the Associated Press and the FCS Coach Association. First team All-CAA last year, and second team All-CAA the season before that. I expect him to be second or maybe third or honorable mention at the next level. I think he's going to be one of the better receivers in the Big Ten. I don't see a reason why he wouldn't. Like I said, he's a complete receiver. Those 2 players, once again, Tank Davey from McNeese State and Dymere Miller, formerly of Monmouth, but now who's made his way up to beautiful Piscataway, New Jersey, the home of Rutgers Scarlet Knights, the home of the birth of college football. He's going to have a great season. Join me again tomorrow for 2 more great players, and for those who do celebrate it, happy 4th of July, and I'll see you again soon.